folks, welcome to the first episode of CollantsCast. So we're very happy to have you here, and we want to welcome you to this podcast.
Woo!
Here's our cast. We've got Babu, who left a lasting imprint on some stairs, and he had such trouble climbing the stairs that he had to have an elevator installed in his house. We have Liam, the gym buff of our group.
That's me.
Johnny, a widely successful Christian rapper.
Welcome, boys and girls.
Torrin, a professional outdoorsman.
Hey, I'm Torrin, and I practically live in the woods. I am the mountain man for Collins.
Amen.
All right.
Strong.
And Avery, that's me, star of Avery's Demise.
Woo!
There he is. Avery D. Cruz.
Babu, you didn't say anything after you got introduced. This is Babu.
Sorry.
Speak.
I'm Babu. I'm pretty. I just had trouble getting up the stairs. I'm out of breath.
Excellent. All right. Welcome
nice
to the
to hear.
podcast. We figured we'd just do this, try to get our brand out a bit more, and it's quarantine, so what else are you supposed to do but hang out with your boys?
Exactly.
We
No
got
excuse.
time.
not
We
to
have
listen.
some questions lined up that we can go through just so lovely viewers at home can get to know who we are. But first, you boys just want to kind of break down what we are, who we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Avery?
All right, so we're just a group of guys, and we have a YouTube channel
Amen.
that we love and we really work hard for.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to make this podcast to kind of get the word out and hopefully get some more viewers and give you something to listen to.
Yeah, it's not just
Just a new
brand
form of
promotion.
content.
This is
Nah,
This
it's a
is-
new
yeah,
form
it's
of
for the
content.
viewers. This is
Passion
definitely not
for-
just for
Out of passion for
Trying
each other
something
and
new.
out of passion for our fan base and creating
Man,
content.
we love you guys. Gotta say, how many subscribers
We
have
got
we
those
at now?
loyal fans out there. Yeah.
We're at 161
Oh boy.
at the
And we
moment.
love
161
each and every one of
subscribers.
you.
Love you all. And if you are listening to this right now and you're not subscribed, please go. We can put in the description of this when we put it on YouTube or on Spotify. Look up Collants Productions. You'll find it there. Find some beautiful
We are
art
currently
pieces.
on 28,384 views right now. So
look at this
Wow.
We want to get
Look at
those
where
numbers
we've
up
come
soon.
in all the years.
All right. Do we want to talk about a bit more what actually Collins is? Jump into this first question, Avery.
Absolutely. All right. So the first question: who was actually the first person who suggested making up a YouTube channel?
So, actually, it was our grade 7 teacher, Mr.
that man.
Furnout, when we proposed the idea for a project to make an animated movie. And then he's like, why don't you guys make a YouTube channel? So, was the first idea.
Yeah. And we all go to a school together. That's not a...
We have been going to the same school
We've
since
known
young
each
age.
other
I've
for
known these
many,
boys.
many years now.
many years.
Yeah.
Been a while.
many memories that we will talk about later.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Torrin,
course.
did you... We met before we went to school together, right? Because I met
Did we?
Liam before I went to school. But
Well,
did you go to the same church?
Maybe. I can't actually remember.
That was a
Been so
long time
long,
ago.
but,
We've progressed
yeah.
so much as people, become so professional.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think I've.
all of us but Johnny have been going to the same school since kindergarten, so
And Johnny, what grade did you come?
I came in grade 3. I was a scared little man. I didn't know anyone. But then these humble boys eventually invited me in,
Took you in
and I found a refuge.
under our arms.
What a great decision that was.
What an absolutely fabulous.
Indeed.
I'm not officially even part of Collins, but I'm a sub branch. I look over in my own business,
associate.
but we can discuss about that later. That's all technical business mumbo jumbo. You don't need to learn about that, you fans. We're just here giving you content. So discussed before, yeah, animated movie we were on making grade 7. That was Genius Hour project, which
Yeah.
is basically you're given free reign to work on whatever you want for a bit of class. Who were the people involved in that at the beginning?
So-
There was Liam.
It was actually no. It was actually initially just me and Torrin were grouped in one group, and then Liam
Oh,
and Chris were
yes.
grouped in an extra group, and we're gonna make 2 separate movies. Me and Torrin were gonna make animated, and Liam and Chris were gonna make a stop motion movie, but something fell out with their movie and it didn't happen. So we actually all four came together and made the movie, and we decided to start together. It was around 2 months in the school year.
We
So yeah,
combined, and
Beautiful.
I gotta say, what a great decision it was, and
Fantastic
to-
decision.
to all come together. And I just remember it being such a good memory, a good year for us when we worked on that first project together in grade 7.
That was
Yes.
a good time.
Yeah.
I remember we.
And
Go
actually,
ahead.
the actual animators were Liam and Isaiah, and I was part of creating the actual characters, who are now Piper, Timmy, and
And
who was
Ted,
the other?
Ted.
Ted.
So, like,
Ted. Yes.
Torrin came up with like the basic like storyline and like the beginning of like the movie from like a cartoon drawing and like stuff, and like that actually started it all.
And
so,
for the viewers at home, who most of you probably know what we're talking about, but this would be the movie you can find on Collants Productions called Dimension I: Battle for Revenge.
it's our very first film.
How did that?
It just sounds like so much fun when you guys all made that, but I just wish that I could have been part of that. But
Avery was not there. Avery came later.
unfortunately, I was in a different class at that time.
When did?
Which we'll speak about
Yeah,
later.
we will speak about later. But I remember, yeah, it was grade 7. We were in a split class with some grade 6s, so all the grade 7 boys in that class banded together, worked on some stuff. There was
The
a
7
table in the
was-
very back next to the piano. We had
Called
full,
The Swamp.
Oh, the
yeah,
piano.
the swamp, and we had full artistic and imagination
basically
privilege to do what we want.
Such
our
good
teacher-
memories.
Yeah, the
Mr.
best part
Fernhout.
about that class was just being able to like
Fahrenheit. I remember the email he sent to you guys, taking a picture of how messy the table was. Oh, angry. Did he ever
Yeah.
get legitimately angry at you guys?
No, never once. He was.
No.
He was. I guess he had such a respect of us, or
Lovely man.
he gave us so much freedom because he trusted us. So we were allowed to be creative and open minded in how we approached our class time and how we approached our learning throughout that year. And he gave us
Good man.
so many pathways to try something new with
Success.
Genius Hour and all that.
Shout out to Mr. Fernhout if you're listening.
yeah.
Yeah.
He even gave us. He didn't even mind when we used extra time, like during like when people were doing math and we finished early, and then like we just worked on the movie all the time. We even stayed in at recess sometimes, just working on the movie. Like almost all moments of that like year, we're just working on that movie, just grinding.
Yeah, that was the most at grade 7. The last time I saw him, I think, after I was in one of the school plays, he came and then we looked at each other and nodded our heads in understanding. That was pretty much the last interaction for me. What about you guys?
So
I've seen him time to time when I go over to the middle campus. Kind of have mutual respect for each other.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The nod.
Comrades. We're more than just teacher and student now.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Avery?
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, like, I had Mr. Fernhout as a teacher in grade 5, and yeah, he was a really good teacher. He gave us lots of freedom.
Yeah, I also had him in grade 5 with you.
Oh yeah,
So I had him actually twice, so.
that was a fun class in grade 5.
Yes.
We want to go on to question 2 then and get a
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
more
well,
deeper in
I-
this channel?
Oh,
I was just wondering about the name Collants Productions. Like, where exactly did that name Collants Productions come from?
that's
So-
a funny story.
It actually originates from our French class.
This is a really funny
When we were
origin.
doing a play.
Was that Mr. Pacini?
Yes, Mr. Puccini was
A
teaching
little
that.
Italian man.
Oh yeah.
And wants to break what happened down there.
All right. So we were doing this play in class called Mark Le Magician. One of the lines in the class was that Mark pulls out collants, which are tights
Yeah, in French.
or underwear or in French. So we kept that name, and it was like
Yeah,
a joke.
so mature,
And then
so mature.
When when coming to make our YouTube channel, we called it Collants
I
Productions.
just remember the
Genius.
first thing. Actually, it wasn't Collins Productions first. I remember the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, guys, what if we call it Collins Gaming?
Yeah.
Oh yes, that was the
Yeah,
original.
That was
yeah.
the very first thing
Because
that
we
came to my
wanted
mind.
gaming as
And
well.
Big on YouTube.
But then we kind of wanted to expand. Like, we want to have productions so we could make
so we
more
could
than
branch
gaming.
out into different things. And in that moment, the seed was planted.
I think it was a good decision.
Well,
When did you change the name from Collants Gaming to Collants Productions?
Probably after around 2 weeks to a month after we had the channel, we decided to change it.
because the first video wasn't even gaming. So.
Yeah, the first video we ever had on there was actually a trailer for our Dimension I Battle for Revenge, but that no longer exists.
Oh, I don't even remember that. No.
Why'd you take it down?
Deleted it. It was just had a huge watermark on it from a free editing.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
You showed it. I showed it for like I was doing a PowerPoint in front of the class, and you wanted me to advertise it. There was this massive watermark
Yeah.
on it. It looked awful.
Oh, right.
I remember that.
I remember when he presented
Yeah,
it.
and the whole class just didn't care. But Mr. Fernhout
Did
was
you hand-
approving.
No, some did. The grade sixes respected us. They cared.
Okay. But the thing about
So-
naming it Collants Productions is since Collants in French is underwear. If you look up Collants Productions on YouTube, YouTube has a thing where if you look up certain words, it deems them as not appropriate and it won't save them in your recently searched history or something like that. So Collins Productions, after you search it up, you just it doesn't save in your search history. So and it's too late to rebrand. It's far too late. But it's just a
way
little
too far down the
unfortunate
line
thing.
now.
Yeah, something we'll have to live with in my grade 7 decisions. But no one knows what it means except for French people, and nobody cares about their opinions, so it's fine.
Yes.
And then besides just the name of Collins Productions, also, how do we come up with Dimension I, the name of our movie?
Well, this goes back to Mr. Fernhout.
Okay.
That's actually a funny story.
Mr. Fernhout's
Because didn't we go to
Yeah.
a website and we were like, oh,
Mr.
good
Fernhout
movie name?
suggested
Oh, no,
using
generator.
the
A generator.
Jean-Claude Van Damme movie name generator.
The Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, yeah,
With his
yeah.
epic movie title.
And
Dimension I.
we
Oh, yeah, because
pumped it into a
I wonder
generator.
how many
and,
names we went through.
and
So-
we
So-
came
so
across
Dimension I-
It was
Dimension I came first, and then Battle Revenge kind of came later when we thought of the story more.
well, like the story was like supposed originally based off Star Wars, so we we
Yeah,
had to get
so
something
fit.
that
because
was like a
in that
spacey
year the
vibe.
new Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens, had just released, so everyone was
the first of the
was
sequel
really
trilogy.
hyped up about
Bring-
that movie. So
Bringing up the Star Wars is actually so funny. When Isaiah first animated the intro scene, didn't he spell like a ton of things
So
wrong in
many,
like
so
Galaxy?
Yes,
many
yes, the
things.
intro crawl.
I had
Everything
to
was spelt wrong.
do a lot of fixing
it's so
up.
bad.
Isaiah was nearly completely illiterate for, I think, most of his life, actually.
Hey.
Still is.
Still
Yeah,
am.
to a degree. He's getting there. But,
He's fine. He's
That's why I
finally
don't
reached
edit.
grade level.
yeah, you're getting there. Was the fact, it was named Battle for Revenge, did we write the plot based off of the title?
Yes, we did.
Such a
So Battle
strange
for Revenge was
process.
what came up in the name generator. So Battle for Revenge was what came up in the name generator, and we wrote the plot based on that title.
It's yeah, we really dove deep into the plot. A lot of stuff going on there. Very deep for project.
Just
yeah.
grade 7 things.
Yeah. I feel free right now if you're listening to the podcast. Maybe wait till the podcast is over, but definitely check that out if you haven't seen it yet. It's really an art piece more than just a video or an animation test. It's a true work of art.
And it's just cool to see how much we've
Yeah,
improved
especially as you
from our last.
Yeah.
you
Which-
go through.
Like if you look from Dimension I Battle for Revenge to the remastered version, which came out this year, you can see how much we have improved animation wise,
Quite nice.
editing wise. There's a massive improvement.
All the
there.
quality is just up there now. Like it went up a few levels, but it's not perfect. But we do our
I have a
best.
question. After Dimension I Battle Revenge was released, there are 2 videos of Dimension Eye 1.5. I've never understood
so
what those
here's
are.
this. Okay, so here's the story. So it has to go back the summer before grade 7. So this is the reason why we decided to an animation. This is why an animation had to happen, because I in the summer had done a day camp course thing where it's called Bite Camp, and I learned how to do 3D computer animation. And in this camp, I'm like, okay, this is actually really fun. So I got on my personal computer. Then school year comes around, we have this option to do a project. So I use the skill I learned, and I teach my friends, and we all like were able to do the movie. Then fast forward the next year, at the summer after grade 7. So me and Liam both do the same course again, and we make a movie together. And in these groups, we have to make a movie with like other people. So Dimension Eye 1.5 was actually a movie made in Bite Camp.
Wow. So it has no real connection to the.
No,
Okay,
it
but
does
you
not.
just named it after it. Figure
So is it part of the Collins cinematic universe?
No.
It's actually
not really, but
it's not canon.
well, it is, because it does have Soldier Boy.
Oh, it
and
does?
50 Cent, who are
I haven't even watched it in a
who
long
are
time.
reoccurring characters in the Collins universe.
All right.
Is Soldier?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes, both Soldier and 50.
All right.
Okay.
That kind of ties into third question. How do they make their animations, Collins? Why do they choose to? How did they learn to?
So so I told you how we learned to. So the program we use is called Blender. It's a 3D animating program. You can actually do quite a lot of
So
things with that program. You can
confusing.
even make video
Yeah.
games. You can make video games. You can make 2D animation. But we focus on the 3D animation. So yeah, we've been doing that for like 4 years
Oh,
now.
boy. And
So that's
who are the main
crazy.
animators of the Dimension Eye?
Isaiah
So,
is the
I learned how to-
main animator.
So I learned how to animate first, and then like I taught Liam. Then Liam also learned how to in the course, and then Avery learned as well. I taught
pretty
Avery.
recently, actually.
Remember, I tried. I tried
Oh yeah.
learning.
Also, we taught Torn, but like it's not easy. like,
Blender
Torn
is
Yeah,
definitely
no,
not a friendly user phase.
No.
It's so
It's-
confusing.
No.
in recent updates it's gotten better, but it's still it can still be a frustrating program to use.
I just remember back in the days when I made the Black Mamba with Liam.
Yeah, back in the day.
You remember that?
Of course I remember.
All right, and then part of that question is who's behind for each different part of content. So besides animators, what went into making Dimension Eye? I can speak a bit. There was a theme song. I mentioned before there was a piano in the swamp where our table was before, and I don't remember exactly when it happened or how it started, but a theme was created, a very short theme, and then Isaiah took that and with his piano prodigy skills recorded it, and then we did put that in the film.
We did, and we actually recorded. The piano in the swamp was so out of
So
tune.
bad.
It was like a whole like octave. out of tune,
Octave,
It was like
like a
notes.
semitone.
It was a few notes out
Yeah,
of tune, right? So we had to use an actual piano and record. So we went to the music room in our school, and luckily
yeah.
enough, no one was in there.
Oh yeah, but
And then one
we
day
recorded it.
we just spent a whole
We
hour
recorded
recording.
it, and then we listened back to the recording, and then I could hear me laughing in the recording, but we
Yeah,
couldn't do
yeah.
another take because then music class was happening. So we went to Mr. Furno and asked him to see if he could take the laugh out. We said, "Oh, no luck, boys," and then
So do
One of
you,
the few
you could
things
hear
Mr.
me
Furno
laughing.
use
I
that?
think.
And then wait, so also with that tune, I also made the theme song on
Yeah.
GarageBand, but nothing was as good as the recorded version.
So
with
much
your laughing.
charm to that one. Yeah, so I'll have to in the future ones bring back the theme, but it's a classic theme. But that's what I've primarily contributed for Collins, although very rarely. But that's my contribution. And then
The Kaj contribution.
much later
Um,
Avery comes in.
yeah, and currently I'm in charge of script writing. I'm doing some partial animation scenes. I've made a couple scenes, and yeah, I've also done a bit of prop design.
But there is someone that we haven't yet to mention who was there at the inception of Dimension High Battle for Revenge, part of the Grade 7 boys, and sat at the very swamp that we did, and that would be Chris.
Chris Bosencool.
Bosencool. But
What a fellow.
who wants to tackle this one?
We'll get into him later.
Well, that's the next question.
Well,
Yeah.
I still have to introduce what I've done in Collins.
Oh, please.
Oh, yeah.
Twine. I edit mostly all of our videos. I edit all the big projects on our channel, and with animations, I will render all the scenes and I'll touch them up to make them look a little bit better. And I kind of dabble in a bit of everything here. Like,
Yeah, you do. You kind of make sure everything just works well, and you organize other people sometimes.
I have designed most of our logos and stuff. I think I've designed almost all of them, all except maybe 2. And then I kind of try to work with everything because I'm very passionate about the channel, and I love to be a part of it, and I love working on all of our projects. So that's what I
What
do.
a man. What a man for the fans. What a man for the arts.
And for me, as I said, I am the mountain man. So I create all the outdoor videos you see, like the skiing videos. Vertical Horizon, who has actually done numbers this year.
Yeah.
1.2
Amen.
What a
K
success
views.
that
Round
one
of
was.
applause.
and
Just pushing up the channel.
That's pretty good.
yeah, and then I've featured in some of the Spanish videos.
Yeah, which are all great.
Created some of the main characters we love today
You are
Yeah.
responsible
Yes.
for
for
the
the
story,
first video.
essentially.
Yeah.
And then there are some other people who've contributed columns, such as McClarty Industries, or Daniel McClarty, who I'm not sure if his parents would be fine with us mentioning him, but whatever.
Oh boy.
he
And also,
he contributes, provides a studio for us to record voice lines and other musical projects that Collins is affiliated with, which I guess we can get into later
Yeah.
for other branches. But anybody?
Okay, so
Yeah, so go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say I think that brings us to Chris now,
Yeah,
which is quite a big topic.
it's a heavy subject.
well,
Yeah.
it's
It's
not
not
really.
so much anymore.
Alright.
Was
He just-
we've moved.
Let's just keep it short. He just kind of
just-
started drifting away from the channel.
It's just, you know,
was his
He helped
choice.
found the channel. He helped found the channel, and 2 years later, just realized it wasn't his part. He didn't he didn't contribute as much in the later years, and he just decided it was time to leave.
If you
Everyone,
want more insight on that, go ahead. There's a video on Collants Productions.
everyone in the group was able
And
to.
that one is just that video is a
And it's not clickbait.
It's not clickbait. And also a beautiful thing about it, like a lotus flower from the darkness emerges something beautiful. I believe that's the first thing where Avery is introduced, correct?
that is correct. Yeah, in that video.
That is actually not the first
Oh,
video.
really?
Avery's
It's where
introduced.
we.
well,
Avery's actually in Avery.
Oh, that's right.
And Torrance
Spanish
Spanish
Bonanza.
Bonanza. That's
that's
his
my
first video.
my first ever video was the spectacular Spanish Bonanza along with Torrin, and then I think my second video was Farm Yourself.
Pioneer
Farm
Boys.
Yourself.
Yeah.
And Farm Yourself was a massive hit.
Massive.
what a-
Should we
what a
talk about
project
Pioneer
Farm
Boys a
Yourself.
bit?
I guess.
Okay, so actually, let's look at the numbers that Farm Yourself has hit.
Oh boy.
Recently, Farm Yourself has actually broken 1,000 views,
Yeah.
so I just want to thank all you viewers out there for
Amen.
listening to Farm Yourself.
Thank you.
Farm
all
Yourself
you
was a
guys.
I just want to shout out Gavin Curry.
Oh, big
also.
shout out to Gavin
He
Curry.
just-
He made an
Yeah,
appearance in that
and
video. Yes.
made a recent appearance as well. In
Yeah, he did.
the
Right.
sixth best weightlifting.
Compound
Yeah,
movements.
yeah.
It's a very, very,
we
very
do have
educational
connections
video.
to people we need to been with us from the beginning. But
Did I join before or after No Baguette?
After
I don't know about the logistics of.
I think it was before.
it was, it was before.
I'm gonna
You,
check
you
real quick.
joined.
No, I'm checking
Yeah,
right
you
now.
joined before.
You joined
You joined.
No baguette
before
happened
Baguette,
after
because
after Christmas.
because that was in grade 9.
Yeah, and
in
You
socials.
joined before
I
Christmas
just
time.
wanted to say that I thought that the Chris is leaving video was really tear-jerking farewell to Chris, and I was really moved by
I
that.
think the best part
Uh,
was really your character design in that one. It really accurately captured what you look like in real
Mine?
life.
Mine?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
my first animated entrance to the screen was quite big. I came out of the car and you could just see my ripped abs and
Yeah.
muscles, and I brought on the cheers, so to speak.
It was beautiful. Do we want to touch into what Pioneer Boys was, though, or is now?
Sure. Yeah. Well, me, Liam, and Torin were originally in a group for Socials 9 for that one, and yeah, we decided because making a song was one of the options on a list, so we thought that would be fun and would help Collins out. So we made a video, we made the song, and it really turned out well. I think the song was pretty good.
Amen. Lose Yourself
but-
parody called Farm Yourself.
I would just like to
I-
add that we have quite a few videos on Collins that are done for school projects and have actually become major hits. And been quite
yeah.
successful.
But I think
Yes.
what really stole the show for Farm Yourself was the video. The video was just so well done. It was black and white.
It connected really well
It did.
with like
Yes.
our theme.
We
Because remember,
The video
had,
is
like-
half of like the hype.
we worked really
Yeah.
hard on that video. We even went to different places. We went to a farm to film, and there was just a lot of work put into that progress.
Who filmed that one?
Project?
I filmed it.
Liam filmed and edited.
that was Liam and edited. We want to
Yeah.
shout out
Yeah,
Liam
man.
for that. He did bits for
Is
us.
that using Sony Vegas?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, back in the day.
Before I
Was-
officially moved to Premiere Pro.
Yeah. Was that all filmed in one day?
Yeah. Yes, it was.
It was.
And then the day before we filmed is when Avery and I wrote all the lyrics.
Yeah, Liam came to my house and we just in 2 hours just cranked out the entire song.
Yeah.
It really was quite impressive.
I think that's how most of the songs for Pioneer Boys have been done. Really just one session or two, just cranked out.
Where majority of the lyrics.
But
are
because you
written.
get inspired and you get touched by the Holy Spirit, and then
And then
you're
it all
able
it
to
all comes
produce
to you in that one
Amen.
moment, like an epiphany. And when
Yeah,
you're with
and
your
You
your
just feel a
boys,
revelation.
it makes it
Yeah.
a whole lot more fun to make, and it makes it such a quality project.
Yeah, man. And Farm Yourself was the
And
only
then-
one we've done a music video for, but I would love to make more music videos.
Yeah, if we did a music video for one of our current songs, I think that would blow up even bigger than Farm Yourself. And No Big
Well, I
At
would-
came soon after, and that was like, I would say that was a better song actually. Like the beat was nicer. I would say that the rapping was better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Farm Yourself was for the first unit and No Bag Out was for the second
Yeah,
unit.
learned
Yeah,
a bit
Farm
of
Yourself. Farm Yourself was on
big
Pioneers, and No Big Out was on the French Revolution.
Yeah. So, some great bars in that one.
Adding to the success of Pioneer Boys, I'd like to say that the Pioneer Boys actually did perform a song live in front of
Two
Yeah,
songs.
our
and you
school.
can see that on the channel.
Yes, I think that was one of the best performances and one of our best
That
songs
is
we have.
definitely one of, like, we'll get into highlights later, but man, that was a good time. Okay.
And I would like to add that I did love the costumes for the Pioneer Boys performance.
All right, we'll-
it was just
We'll get into that.
quite nice.
All right.
We did just hit 300 views for that one.
Oh boy. All right, next question. This is a really big question that I feel like I've really been struggling with, just kind of trying to understand Collins lore. But Isaiah, do you wanna ask this one?
No, my kid.
How did someone like Avery come to join
Yeah.
Collants Productions?
Yeah. So Avery, do you want to give your insight on this one before we give our opinions?
Oh boy,
Okay.
this one will be
Well,
nice to
Defend
hear.
yourself. Yeah.
For my point of view, I had helped out on a few Collins projects before,
Yeah.
and they were pretty big hits. Like the Spanish Bonanza and Farm Yourself both kind of took off.
They did.
And when I think it was Liam who asked me if I wanted to join Collins Productions, I honestly wasn't sure if I knew how big of a community I was joining into, but I was just so happy to be part of that, and yeah, I don't know, how did someone like Avery come to join the group? I don't. You guys asked me.
Yeah, I guess so.
It just kind of happened in grade 9.
Yeah.
We thought it would be
Yeah,
needed
I
because
remember
Chris had just
Yeah,
left.
yeah. So we
We needed a
Yeah,
fourth
you're a
member.
replacement.
there's kind of the core four of Collants Productions, and I was kind of that fourth
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
I remember Avery was quite excited. He was like just jumping off his feet. He was like,
Well, he
Babu, did you hear? Liam said I'm in Collins now.
he brings a lot of charm. If you watch the Spanish Bonanza, he's a very charismatic little boy. Couple voice craps here and there.
Even if you watch his acting in Farm
Yeah.
Yourself.
Farm Yourself, yeah. May I say the facial expressions in Farm Yourself were completely 100% real, not acting at all. I was working hard cutting that wood, and
Yeah, no, you're a fantastic actor. I'd like to bring up the little anecdote. There's a school play going on in grade 9, and there's a role that was a younger gentleman, and the play was like some kind of old written thing, but I had auditioned, and so had Avery. And I wasn't really aware that you had auditioned, Avery, until the end where I had gotten in and you told me that you didn't.
yeah.
Just fun little anecdote.
I remember for that I didn't want to audition, but then a teacher kept on asking me to audition. So because they said they really needed people for the thing, for the play. So
What teacher?
I auditioned. It was Miss Nutter.
Right.
And she kept, like, I said no multiple times, but she kept asking. So then I'm like, fine, I'll audition. Like, I still didn't want to, but my parents actually said that I should, so I did. And then I auditioned. I thought the audition went well, and then I didn't make it, so...
And what did you say the reason was? What did the drama guy say?
They said that I had a baby face.
Oh.
He was far too youthful for the cast.
Yeah.
But that's just
So-
a lot of his boyish energy is what we use here in Collins, and it's a
Yeah.
great addition.
But I guess as you can see from that experience, it's also sometimes a curse.
But to answer though, why did someone like Avery come to join the group? Because he's a great addition. It's a great man to have on board.
Thank you.
Yeah, we could turn that question around and be a bit more positive. All right. Next question. This is a bit of a bigger one. We can go around. Favorite memories or moments from being part of Collants Productions. I can start, like I mentioned before, with we performed for in front of our whole school at one of the last days before one of the grade was over and school ended.
Yeah.
And I had written for Bible. Well, I think we at the end now have done 7 different songs, all about like different projects about Bible.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's
that song featured no, actually it was 2 songs that we mashed up into one.
yeah.
So
for this one we performed.
It was Straight Out of Nazareth, which was horrific.
Yeah,
Me
which
and
is
Jonathan.
a Straight Outta Compton parody, all about Jesus. Beautiful.
Yes.
And then Baptized, one of my personal favorites.
Yes. Which
Instead of Hypnotized by Biggie. And
Baptized
I would
really
say that was
brought
everyone's favorite.
brought the crowd.
the song
Yeah.
was Jonathan featuring Daniel McClarty, but we had 2 other guest singers performing at the talent show with Jonathan.
we convinced a couple girls in our grade, Ocean and Megan, to do some backup vocals. And we planned doing this the week before.
The week
Right?
before we did, and
We barely planned. We went out to the forest to practice doing a thing like 2 times. And then I think Ocean and Megan only agreed to doing it like the day of. And they didn't even show up to practice.
Like 2
They
days
didn't even
before.
show up when we were practicing.
Yeah.
and it turned out splendid.
It turned out.
Yeah, they did come through.
It was amazing.
It was beautiful.
wonderful.
And
but
fun
One of the
fact
best moments in
about
Collins history.
Baptized is that 3 days after its original release, it got taken down.
it did. Do we want to go into why?
And they were just.
I
It
don't
was a
think we
little
should
bit
go
of a
into that.
dispute, but
Collants Productions is not without its history.
rivals.
Yeah, but
But
another thing about Baptize is most of the songs. No, all of the songs have gotten fantastic marks. Like from everyone who's produced, not just me who's written it, but from all the people. I remember Baptize got, I think it was 98%, and then one before that, Disciple got 100%,
Disciple?
and then one I did with Avery recently got
Got 99.
99. So
I wrote God, that got 95.
Yeah,
Should have gotten like 5.
so hey, if anybody listening wants to go SoundCloud Pioneer Boys, just keep blasting out the promotions here. A lot of bangers there. But just like with Farm Yourself, most of the stuff like when I wrote Baptized, that was all just like 2 days at like 1 a.m. just writing verses.
Oh yeah, one of the songs I wrote, God, that was written in like maybe
Yeah, and then-
30 minutes.
and
You
then
can obviously
it
tell
took
by the
me-
lyrics. It
No.
was good.
it took me 3 hours to
uh,
write a whole song about moss and ferns.
Moss and Fern. And yeah, not even just going back to the social stuff. Isaiah made a hit. Indian is dead.
Oh yeah, that was
Everyone should check
just
that one out.
wonderful. Especially
boy.
everyone's reaction
was-
to it.
Because you
The whole
were,
class was just laughing.
because you didn't want to have your actual voice recorded, so you used text to speech, and then so many filters when you actually
Well,
did your voice. You could not tell.
Yeah,
You
that
could
is
not
true.
tell what you were saying at all whatsoever. And it was also played like
Yes.
on these really crappy speakers for the whole class.
The worst
It
speakers
sounded
ever it
so
was played on, and it was just like it was just like painful to listen to.
But of
Uh,
course,
Liam, to expand on your thing that you said about the 3 days later thing, that what was interesting is that like it's called Baptize, and it was just kind of about like 3 days later, like Christ was resurrected.
3 days
So,
later?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
3 days
you
later, the
didn't
song-
actually like specify.
3 days later, the song came back.
yeah.
An
Well,
edited
it was
version of the
after
song.
it's
We were able to release
It
the
rose
song
again.
once more.
And I don't know if I should call myself out here, but calling back to Isaiah's Indian is dead thing, I also put out a lovely song for that
Okay,
class.
Jonathan's beat mine by like it was much better.
Not my proudest song.
Not your proudest
I
song,
didn't
but still,
write
I
a single
love the
word
song.
of that song. I actually had my sister write it because I didn't care enough about the
Really?
project. So that song I barely had anything to do with. I looked up online some random First Nation chanting, and I found these women chanting. I thought, okay, I could use this. And then this
The video
the
was quite good.
humanities teacher pulled me after later. Was like, Jonathan, this is really on the border of cultural appropriation. And I'm just like, I'm sure you didn't intend it, but it was like, oh, yep. Because I'm just like, they're chanting along, going, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm chanting
cult
along with
classic,
them and
though.
whistling. And it's all about residential schools as well. So, oh well, I think I got a decent grade on that one. But fun history of music. But we've definitely put out a lot better songs afterwards. Worth checking out. And the most recent one, Avery and I did, Till I Face the Facts.
Till I face
I
the
think
facts.
that one was pretty decent.
And
That was another banger.
technically, it's not
In
done
that one,
yet.
we were just going back and forth. It was about science and faith, and one of our view was like from the point of view as someone who was religious, and the other one was atheist, and it was just a really interesting experience. Just going back and forth.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we put that one on SoundCloud, but here's some more self-promotion. If you want to look up Jacob Satori Boss, you will be able to find a video for both Moss and Fern and Till I Face the Facts.
Well, I also
If you
think
so desire. But we will be most likely remastering those, right?
Yeah,
recording them at
it still has
McCarty
to be
Industries.
redone. That's the reason that it's not on SoundCloud yet.
Yeah, so after quarantine is done, we do have big plans. But we'll get into more of what those big plans are later. Anyone have... I've talking a bit about the music. Any other favorite memories from Collins?
I think we should actually move on. what are like the most difficult parts of Collants Productions, or like what is the most difficult part of like making videos, making content? So I can actually give my input. It's really difficult to animate. Like, animating is not easy at all. There's so much that goes into it. First, you have to create characters, sets, props, backgrounds, everything. They have to be, sometimes, like, characters can be more complex, so it can cause your computer to slow down or stuff. So it makes animation very difficult. Then animating is, like, another chore. It's, like, it's so hard to do, but the outcome is just amazing.
Yeah, I think it's...
But yeah, that's what I usually do. And then, like, it just takes time and time.
Animation is a really time-consuming activity.
Yeah. And since...
Yeah, especially at the good detail.
Most of the big projects on Collins are primarily animation. The most work goes into those, and it takes a lot of time. But I don't animate at all, but I'm trying to learn it a bit, and I can definitely tell you it is not an easy thing.
Yeah, I found my own difficulties with Vertical Rising, shooting that. Like, it was very difficult on the mountain when it was very cold. Because, like, my like camera gear would just shut down if it was too cold, and it was not easy at all.
Yeah.
And
we're not as adventurous as you. We stay inside.
I'd have to say, for me, the hardest thing is always to work with a deadline and having to take everything for one of our projects and put it all together and make sure it's nice before that deadline. Like, I remember with each movie, I always have to render them, and I remember with our first Christmas movie, I actually lost everything that I had rendered the week before it had to come out. So I had to re-render everything and edit it all, and somehow it still turned out. And then I remember with Christmas War, I had to do the same, but I didn't lose anything. It was just a lot of rendering that I had to do, and
I remember you rendering on like 4
especially
separate computers.
the last day, I had to render on a bunch of different computers just to get it out. But
Yeah, we just put all this time in for you guys.
For you guys.
All this
for
hard
the
work.
fans. But it's also personal growth, being able to see
where we
improve and what we can do. But we can move on to...
And it's fun.
We also
Fun
enjoy
working
making
with the
these
boys.
videos. We just enjoy it. It's like we get to be creative, make our own
hobby.
content,
It's our
and
passion.
in the end, it's just amazing.
And do we want to move on to speaking of big projects, or you think we can fit in? We got enough time to cover a couple more questions.
Okay, so I guess we can like move on to Xmas
All right.
questions.
So
So-
I can set this one up.
What one of
set it
our
up, set it up.
biggest
Hold on. Set this one up. After the release of expectation-shattering Dimension Eye Christmas War and the astounding 40-minute remaster, can fans be expecting another massive project anytime soon?
Well, you sure can.
So we have this movie that we've been trying to work on for a while. The script is
Massive.
huge. It's been like in the works for about a year
Big
now.
props to Avery
So
for writing
about
that.
a year.
Big shout out to
Thanks,
Avery.
Dave.
There's so many pages full.
Just a lot of hard work from
And
Avery's end.
what is it estimated look like? How long it's going to be?
The
So this is gonna be probably our biggest, longest, most effort ever put into any kind of like
Production.
piece of content.
For reference,
Production, yeah.
Dimension Eye Battle for Revenge remastered script was, I believe, like 15 to 12 pages.
Wow.
This Dimension Eye Xmas game script is 48. So
Oh,
Guys,
that's
this
exciting.
Avery
This is a
is the
full
script
movie.
writer.
Ugh.
This
Big
is a
props
full
to
movie.
Avery.
Props
detail.
to Avery.
Everything.
40
This
pages.
is
Oh, man.
quite
But
the massive project.
just as a time reference, I mean, for sure, we won't be able to get every word in, but it's gonna be like it's gonna be a big movie.
Definitely going to be feature film length.
Oh yeah, it's
yes.
gonna guaranteed break probably at least an hour 30.
Oh boy, that's exciting. But yeah, we definitely starting work on that now since it's such a big project. When are we thinking we want to optimistically get that out?
Well, I think that it's kind of in the title there, Dimension I Xmas game. We are looking for, we're aiming for the date that all our other Christmas movies usually come out on, December 24th.
Very festive day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, December 24th. December 24th, 2020.
Oh
correct.
boy, turning of a tide. All right,
Mhm.
and where are we? So the script has been written so far, and man, the voice acting that you fans are in store for. If you watched Christmas War, and you really wanted more of that fantastic voice acting, you are going to be in for a treat. There is so much
We're
work.
currently in the process of doing
Yeah,
casting.
we've got a massive casting list, and
If any of you guys are listening, you can always, if
Yeah,
you feel
get-
interested, just
throw
email
us a text.
one of
Yeah.
us.
And we'll be
Audition.
trying to do updates on the progress of this once in a while through Instagram or and there will be new content coming on multiple different platforms that you can be looking out for.
Yes, new forms of content.
And we've obviously we haven't always gotten the best reviews for our text of speech or computer voices. So
Previous voice.
we're giving back to you viewers, and we are gonna try to keep only the completely iconic text of speech lines, and almost all the rest is gonna be real voice acting.
Yeah, and there's gonna be your basic cast in there. There's gonna be some familiar faces, but there's also gonna be some maybe some special guests that you didn't really expect on this cast. You'll have to find out. Question 3, is that a bit of a spoiler?
I would say
I guess
I would say the end of Christmas War, it wasn't exactly clear who was snapped out of existence.
that end scene was a bit of
I feel like we can
mess.
maybe dissect more of plots of different things in another Collins episode, which will be happening bi-weekly. For any viewers
Yes.
listening to this now and you just want more of Avery's little voice, can be expecting more content. And if you do want to see Avery's massive muscles, you can go onto Instagram and follow the Cruiser Fitness. And you can see not only him, but Isaiah and Liam and maybe Torin sometimes. I'm not sure.
Torin, yes,
and others.
We have a few
Yeah,
guests.
see them working out there. And then also Isaiah, if you want to promote a new platform.
So so we've just joined a brand new platform. Quite a few people are on it, especially as we are in
Yeah.
quarantine. It's TikTok. So we just launched the Cruiser Fitness on TikTok. Actually, it is not Cruiser Fitness, but Collants Fitness. So it's the boys. It'll be more instructional videos of us working out, not just PRs, but because we're at home, you can watch our workouts, learn, and be able to do some yourself.
Yeah, so a
Get
lot
inspired.
of we've had some meetings. We're planning a lot of content to come out, a lot of different platforms. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled. We got big plans coming up.
We have a lot of stuff coming down.
You
the
boys want to
pipeline
call
here.
this here? All right. I think that was quite a lovely little podcast there.
It was.
Thank you all for listening, boys and girls at home.
We all appreciate
Yeah.
it.
And
Tune in next week for the next episode of
Yeah.
CollantsCast.
oh, it's exciting. All right, farewell. And then music
All
plays.
right.